Thanks for being here. I know you have to be here, but I'm going to thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you, for your benefit, to give me your undivided attention, to participate in what I'm speaking to you about. All right? Because I want to ask you some questions. The first question I'm going to ask you this question, and it's rhetorical, meaning you don't have to answer, but I want you to think about it, because there's going to be some follow-up. All right? How many of you, think about it, that you are a winner? All right? You're a winner. All right, he raised his hand. You can raise your hand. All right, that's fine. Excellent. How many of you, because of circumstance or things that happen, you keep this to yourself, that you feel you're a loser? All right, no one's going to raise their hand there. Well, let me tell you something. Come on, man. Let me tell you something. You're neither. You're a chooser. Every day you're choosing what you are becoming, how you're developing you. And my whole thing I want to talk to you about is taking ownership of who you are. So you're a freshman, right? Is that what it is? All right. And so here's the thing. Your age right now, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, even the seniors, your age right now, you are developing habits and beliefs that are building who you are. And from who you are is how you'll either react or how you'll respond to life. Because I'll tell you right now, life ain't fair. Life will kick you in the teeth. Life will knock you down. You'll either react, which I'm going to talk to you later about. Reacting is someone, anybody play sports? Right? You ever have someone talk junk to you, be chippy? Right? What are they trying to, you go back at them? They're controlling you. You're reacting. That's called a thermometer. A thermometer goes up and down. A thermometer has no control at all. Right? If it gets hot, the mercury, the thermometer, what's the temperature at? You look at a thermometer. It's 80 degrees, it's warm. It's 30 degrees, it's cold. That's a thermometer. Responding is a thermostat. You're set. You took ownership of who you are, and you'll allow someone else to dictate what you'll do and what you'll say. Because what you do and what you say, how you do it and how you say it, or you do not do something and do not say it, there's consequences, good or bad. All right. So when I say you choose every day, and actually I'll tell you what, you're not really choosing if you're not intentionally choosing. And I'll talk to you about that. Because every day the world is choosing for you. How many watch the Super Bowl? Right? Now, we watch the Super Bowl. Now, anybody go to like a Super Bowl party? Right? It's a big deal, right? There's a lot of people there that do not watch football at all, but it's an event, right? It's a big deal. It's one of the biggest watched television events in our country through the year. So there's a lot of people who just go there. So besides the game, because a lot of people don't really pay attention to the game, right? What is the biggest thing about the Super Bowl? Huh? Halftime show, right? The commercial. Is that what you say? The food, right. All right, Super Bowl commercials. Now, think about this. Those Super Bowl commercials that you see, I mean, some are unrealistic, some are futuristic, some are cutting edge, some are head scratching, like what in the world is this, right? And each one of those is 30 seconds. So when there's Clydesdale, the Budweiser, I won't try to sing it, but the Clydesdales come, the M&M guys running down the road, all these commercials, 30 seconds. And each time they air, they not only already paid Madison Avenue, which is in New York, who is the marketing people who handle putting them together, but they have to pay Fox or CBS or ESPN, whoever has the game on. How much do you think they paid last year for each time, 30 seconds, each time?
4 or 5 million. Couple million?
Yeah? Who said 4 or 5? All right, up. $7.8 million. Again, cutting edge, futuristic, unrealistic, head scratching. They paid $7.7 million. So if that same commercial came 8 times 7 is 56.7. It's a lot more. It's a lot. So $56 million. Now let me ask you this. You're getting food, big deal, right? Halftime shows going on, getting up, using the bathroom, talking to friends and everything, because especially if you're watching the game, you're not watching television that much when the game's not on. Why would they do it? Why would they pay $7.7 million? There's one reason. There's one reason. Because it works. See, here's what you have to know. When I say every day you wake up, you choose, you're actually being chosen for, unless you take advantage. See, what happens is these corporations, these companies, they pay millions of dollars to figure out how you think, to how to figure out to get you to believe a fact which is not a truth. And I'll explain the difference between that in a second. They're figuring out how to get you to be impulsive, how to think you need something outside of you that they have, that you will purchase, to be cool, to be approved, to be fulfilled. Like, that'll make me happy, that'll make me cool, I just need that. They do that. They figure out, I mean, they're scientists that figure out how the brain works. They're called neuroscientists. They figured out how to deceive you into thinking everything you need is there and you need to buy it. That's why they spend $7.7 million, because it works. Because they are going off the assumption that you do not think for yourself. And you know what? A lot of us, we don't. Because if you're not doing it, if you're not taking, I'm going to talk about how you do that. If you're not every day setting your thermostat, that's what I was talking about, you will be a thermometer. You allow your feelings, emotions, circumstances, you allow corporate America to dictate your life. And here's the thing. It's never fulfilling because you're always having to buy stuff. It's never satisfying because you're never content. Right? You're buying new shoes. You're buying new stuff. I mean, you get new shoes. Man, you get new Airs, whatever it is, and then 3-4 months later, they're dirty, they're scuffed up. I need new shoes. They're not cool anymore. No one's saying, hey, man, those are sweet, or whatever the words you use these days to tell someone they're cool. And we take that, and that for that instant gratification, we feel approved, we feel successful, we feel we're in, we feel, and it goes away like that. Every time you walk into Walmart, Target, any box store, depending on the month of the year, meaning what season it is, the day of the week, the time of day, they've done all their research. The lighting, the music, the volume of music. They set everything up. The placards when you walk in, they strategically put them up with the music, the volume, all those things, the temperature in the building. Because they figured out how to get the most out of you when you walk in that store. They want to control you because they want you to buy. Now, we do need stuff, right? I'm old enough to remember as a kid going to the shoe store and they measured and they gave you the best shoe for your foot. It wasn't you going in and say, I need the Airs, I need this shoe, I want that, because a commercial showed someone that's the shoe you had to have, and then they use athletes and celebrities to show this is what you need, and you buy them. They have strategically placed them in place thinking that you will not yourself invest in your mind. They'll do it for you. And so here's what happens. You get frustrated, you get discouraged, you get jealous. You see someone with something that they have. And it affects your mindset of who you are. And we choose the words that we speak about ourselves by how we speak to other people. Here's the thing. The world celebrates mediocrity. And I'm telling you, it takes people being excellent. And excellent is you taking ownership of yourself. Because the habits and beliefs that you are allowing yourself to take right now are developing who you're going to be when you hit 20, 25. And it's going to happen just like that. I can remember being in high school just like that. Your coach can remember. Man, high school, college, in their 20s, it goes. You're young now, but you have an opportunity I'm going to present to you. You have to choose to take ownership. Because no one is responsible for you but you. And you're deceived and dumbed down, this generation, I'm not you specific, but this generation you're in, you're deceived and dumbed down and think it's someone else's fault. You can make excuses, and therefore you rationalize and justify being less than who you are created to be. See, there's facts. I said there's facts within you that you have allowed yourself to believe. Here's the difference between facts and truth. For 95% of the time that human beings have been on the earth. 95% of the time, the overwhelmingly amount of time that people have been on this earth, the earth was flat. That was a fact. It was flat. It was such a fact so much that you could be jailed or punished if you said otherwise. And then 400, 500, 600 years ago, when it became clearly evident that the earth is round, the fact changed, but the truth never did. The truth has always been there. The truth is in you for how you are to live your life that will fulfill you and satisfy you. And I will tell you right now, the deception that's out there, that's a fact. The truth is it's within you, but you have to uncover and discover it. You have to be willing to say, I am worth. I have worth. And it's not just to come in school, take shortcuts, do just what I have to do to pass a class, just what I have to do to not get in trouble, which also relates to on the field because you are establishing a mindset of limiting yourself. And you are limited. And here's what I want to tell you. There's a challenge, but man, there is solution. All right? I'll tell you about that fact, that the truth is that's within you. You have to uncover and discover it. Now, talking about the earth, uncovering, discovering what's in you, I mean, our phones, airplanes, medical equipment, missiles on fighter jets, everything, all the components, all those elements that make what we have living easier and things can be dangerous. I mean, there's so much modern technology to help us live our life. Every single element, like I'll just take your phone, every single element, that plastic bottle right there that makes plastic, has always been in the earth. Always has been in the earth. In the ground. Everything that makes that plastic bottle and makes a fighter jet missile and makes every element to make your phone that you can look up the temperature in China. You can FaceTime someone just like that across the world. The elements, the physical elements that make that possible has always been in the earth. But it had to be dug. People had to say, you know what, curiosity, digging and finding and discovering and saying, what can we do with this? That is where your mind has to be every day. What can I learn today? Because you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to grow in. And it's just not what someone wants to speak to you about. It's you yourself investing in you. Because here's the thing. Right now, at your age, you've been told 3 words over 15,000 times. No, can't, and don't. Each one over 15,000 times at your age right now. Now, it's important to hear some of those words at times because probably for your own safety, for your own good, for your own welfare. But here's the thing. Your mind has been taught to be limited and restricted. And because of that, it's easy for you and me to be negative. Something goes wrong, dang, man, right? Get upset, we get mad, we holler at someone else, someone does something stupid, we say it, man, what you dumb? But here's the thing, every time you speak it out loud, you're speaking to your mind. I'm dumb. When you tell someone they're dumb, they're stupid, they're a fool, those people that study the brain, they're called neuroscientists, say it impacts you when you're speaking out of your mouth more than it impacts the other person. And what you're doing is, when I talk about limiting, you're limiting and restricting yourself to what you can do, what you can persevere and strive and excel in your life to do. It's that inside you there's gifts and abilities that you have to uncover and discover. There's teachers, there's people in your life that will speak it, and that it's wonderful that we have people that say, hey, I know it's in you. You can, but it is up to you. You have to take ownership. And you have to realize you have value. That you can implement small disciplines on a daily basis, speaking truth into you. And here's the truth. Everyone put your thumb up real quick. On your thumb, what is that called? Your thumb? Print. Your thumbprint. There is 8 billion people, rounding up or down, 8 billion people on this planet. There's not a single person that has the same thumbprint as you. Not a single person. That means you're uniquely created. That means you're set apart. That means you have value and worth that this world needs. The world around you needs. It doesn't need your smart butt talk. It doesn't need you to be negative. It doesn't need you do disservice just doing the minimum. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing other people a disservice. Here's what this tells you. All right, let me ask you this. What position is the most important position on your team? All right, first of all, who plays football? All right. All you play football? All right, good. What's the most important position on the team? Quarterback? Why? Because he touches the ball every time on offense? All right, quarterback. Anybody else? Any linemen say, hey, the trenches, right? Come on, you control the line of scrimmage. All right. Well, let me tell you the most important position on a football team is your position. Your position is the most important. You play a position that the 10 other players depend on you doing your best. Sharpening yourself when you're in practice. When you're doing position drills. All right, who's the offensive lineman? Right? So when you're in position, high school do position drills, right? Then you go to offense and then scrimmage and stuff, 7-on-7 skeleton, all that stuff. So you're working on mechanics, techniques. You're in the weight room. You're to get as strong as you possibly can, right? And you're being pushed and challenged to do that because your coach wants you to actualize the very best in you because the receivers, running backs, skill positions, all right? So you're running routes, right? You're learning your first step, all those things to put yourself in the best position. But if the offensive linemen aren't doing their job, it doesn't matter how well you run your pattern, how well you get separation, running backs, how well you read the gap. If the offensive linemen aren't doing their job, if it's a pass play, quarterback's not going to have time to throw at the time it needs to. If it's a running play, you're not going to find the gap. It's going to be closed quick. You have to understand that's in life. You have value. There's a lot of people here that discredit themselves. There's a backup kicker on a high school team that no one thinks about, who doesn't even take himself seriously as backup kicker. All of a sudden, the kicker strains his groin or something, and he gets called in, and the rest of the team's watching him attempt a field goal to win the game. His position is the most important position. If you're a backup, football like no other. How quickly, even if it's one player, one series, or a game, or sometimes multiple games, kid gets hurt, are you prepared to step in? Because your team depends on you to step in, to be prepared, to be ready to do the things you need to do. And that's your opportunity to shine because the other 10 are depending on you. All right, so here's a compound little phrase, 2 words I put together for that, called humble confidence. The confidence is that the other 10 need you to be your very best. You're needed. You have value and worth and ability that the other 10 need for the team to be in the best position to have success. The humility part, the humble part, is you need the other 10. There ain't no one doing it by themselves. It ain't basketball someone guy can take over a game. Football takes all 11 on each side of the ball and obviously special teams. So if you're on offense and you're on the field waiting to get the ball back, you're relying on the defense that they did everything they were supposed to do. So here's the thing. First and foremost, you have to speak and tell yourself you have value and worth and humble confidence. You can't be so cocky. There's a difference between cocky and confidence. Cocky is when someone says, man, you're going to win the game. Yeah, man, we're going to blow them out. Confidence is we are prepared. We're prepared to win this game. We've done everything we need to do. That's a mindset. Humble confidence. And that mindset will keep you disciplined to stay focused when, as in life, as in games, things go up and down. Penalties against you, whether you did it or didn't do it, right? Or a penalty that wasn't called. If you're a receiver, someone's holding you. and it's not called, and you couldn't get both hands to catch the ball, and you're flipping out. Well, the rest of the team, the 10 needs you not to be a thermometer, get yapping, and man, the other 10 need you to get back in the huddle. You have to taking ownership of you means that you have a responsibility, accountability to other people. So when you feel like, man, this sucks, and man, I don't want to do this, man, coach is always riding me, I should be starting, this teacher gave me an F. Well, first of all, a teacher doesn't give you an F, a teacher doesn't give you an A. A teacher just shows you what you've done. Take ownership. It's a mindset to start. So, to start, I want to help you understand how to uncover and discover you, how to set a thermostat, that you will, when you start actualizing excellence in you, it's empowering. Because results won't matter. You realize that you're doing excellent. You do all you can where you are with what you've been given. And what you've been given is gifts, ability, discipline. A mind. The most powerful thing in all creation is in your head. The challenge is, will you use it to full capacity? Will you see that it's a gift and a responsibility that the world needs for you to be your very best? When I played football in college and I was a receiver, and man, I had a hard time, 3 years. I had 5 years, had a redshirt year of getting on the field. My third year, I got some mop-up time, and I finally, and there's a whole nother story of a teammate who really challenged me to be excellent, to get out of my feelings and put in the work beyond how I felt. And I became a starter. And we had my junior year was great, and then coming to my senior year, we had a new position coach. And here's the thing, be coachable. Because I wasn't coachable at first. So we're in, this is summer, we really had 3 days, 2 days in a day, and then special teams at night. And here's a receiver coach who comes in, this old guy, overweight guy. I'm like, who's this clown? That was my mindset. It wasn't a good mindset. I got cocky because I finally got to a point where I was starting. Instead of being grateful and continue being coachable, I was like, I'm set in my ways. And he wanted to change us how we came off the line of scrimmage. And every day, twice a day in summer camp for 2 weeks, it was so tedious. It's easy to get distracted, right? It's easy not to do your best when you're doing something over and over and over and over again. But let me tell you something, over and over and over again is how you get excellent in everything. If you choose, because it's a choice, that I'm going to, even this most tedious thing, I'm going to do excellent, you're telling your mind, I do everything excellent. I block excellent, I catch excellent, I run excellent, I do tests excellent. Because what you do in one thing, you're going to end up doing in everything. The tedious things, the mundane, the things every day that you do, when you choose, because it's a choice. That's all it is. Everything you can do is that you can do excellent. Everything. It can be really hard. You can still do it excellent. You could fail, but you can still do it excellent. That's a choice you make, but the consequences are you going to be frustrated and discouraged for life? Are you going to just quit? Are you going to blame other people and live mediocre? Or are you going to choose, and that's what you're doing, I'm telling your age now, this whole through high school, you're going to choose the habits and beliefs that you have, or are you going to choose to do things excellent? So here we were on the line of scrimmage, and it was so methodical. When you have to do something you're not used to, it doesn't feel natural. But it's trusting someone who's been where you want to go to show you how to get there. It's trusting and believing that someone who's going to teach you and coach you how to get, who has been where you want to go, how to get there. That's being coachable. That's allowing yourself to do the tedious things. And there we were, and he had his hands, and it was just we sat there like this, boom. So the first step, and then it was second, to swim or to cut under, and it was just out in the heat, and it's just, but I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. And this is what my coach said. He said this, first step is the most important step. See, as a receiver, the first step dictated you getting in a position to get separation. Your first step and how you got away from that defensive back, because you have an opponent in life all the time. Just like you have opponent teams, right, in games, who want to keep you from being success. That's what the enemy wants you. That's what the corporation, they don't want you to be successful. They just want you to buy stuff. And what's in you, what God has put in you, is the ability to drive to excel on hard things that you may develop and, man, be empowered, be invigorated, have confidence in everything in life. All right? So I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. And I'll tell you what, two things. One, he said the first step's the most important step. It dictates 80% of the time if you're going to have success. All right? My teammates were depending on me. Us receivers, the other 10 were depending on us to do what we had to do. And I'll tell you, the first game they played straight up defense and having our hands quickest in a position to push off and move out to get separation made all the difference in the world. Because if I had my hands dangling like here, I'd have to bring it up. And that split second was that much time for the D-back to push me off of the track that I had to run for the timing of the quarterback if he was going to throw me the ball to be an option. Split second. First step was the most important step. And here's the thing that found out later in camp that this old guy was doing our coach a favor. He just retired, so he was going to help us out this year as the Miami Dolphins receiver coach. And at the time it was Dan Marino as a quarterback and, Clayton and Duper. That's humbling. Here's someone trying to teach me, and I chose a crappy attitude to start. And gosh darn, if I would have kept that, and if he would have allowed me to do what I wanted, I wouldn't have been able to have success that I had. That first step. Your first step is when you wake up. All right? Your first step is what you choose. I had to choose that. First step's the most important step. He also said this. He said 80% of games are won or lost before you step on the field. 80% of games, the ability of players throughout the team is somewhat even. It's a mindset. Do you believe? Are you prepared mentally to deal with an opponent? Whether they're physical, whether they're fast, dealing with a referee, make what you think is a bad call or a no call, your coach getting on you. Do you have the mindset? Are you stealth? Are you disciplined to stay focused, stay dialed in? That takes all week of practice. That takes all week of what you're doing in life. Affects you. If you're goofing off, not paying attention in class, it's going to affect you staying dialed in. Man, it's 4th and 1, and I have to be successful in what I have to do for this team. What you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday affects Friday night. So your first step's your most important step. What you say about yourself when you wake up. Easy as this. That thumbprint, knowing that you have value and worth. Saying you have value and worth. It's not voodoo, but the small disciplines exercised on a daily basis creates excellence. Small discipline of speaking truth. The truth is you have discipline. The truth is you have perseverance. The truth is you can focus. The truth is the world needs what you have, and the world has what you need. That as iron sharpens iron, so shall one person sharpen another. That you are to be positive, to be encouraging. And you speak that. When you say, I am positive, I'm encouraging, I'm disciplined, I'm perseverant, I'm vibrant, other things we can think of. I strive, I excel, I'm gifted, I have abilities, I'm an athlete, I'm smart. You start speaking, you write these down, you start speaking yourself every day. So your mind, what you expose your mind to, it gets attracted to. That happens what you expose your mind to, it gets attracted. When you get some type of new shoes, kicks, sneakers, whatever you call them, right? You get those, you start noticing other people have them. I mean, for me, or somebody, well, you drive, you're freshman, but when you get a car, you'll start seeing that exact car on the road because you expose your mind to it because you're in that car every day. What you expose your mind to, it will be attracted to. And with that, you'll learn to avoid and ignore the negativity, the stuff out there that the world wants you to be drawn to. It's as simple as that. But you have to choose that discipline, that small discipline. I want to encourage and challenge you. Write it down. Whether you feel like it or not, facts don't matter. Truth does. Truth is, you have value. You have worth. You have discipline. You have ability. You're smart. You have perseverance. You can strive. You can excel. You are empowered. You're invigorated. You think of words that empower. I mean, Google words that are empowering. And you will start speaking, and it will start changing your mindset. You have to speak. And here's the thing. To know that the words you speak also speak to you, your mind starts picking up that, and you start avoiding talking garbage. Not only that, you'll interrupt it with something uplifting, encouraging, complimentary. You will change your mindset, and when you understand humble confidence, you'll realize that you will perform to the level that you've conditioned your mind to believe you can. You will perform to the level that you've conditioned your mind to believe you can. It is you taking ownership. The question is, will you take ownership? The question is the words I'm speaking speak to you in a way that you will make an advanced decision to be intentional? Because that's what it is. It's making an advanced decision. If it's putting a blank pad of paper on your nightstand, say, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to start writing who I am, that I am excellent, that I am perseverant, that I am disciplined, that I am empowered, that I'm a good athlete, that I'm a good student, that I can listen. All those things. You start thinking, and you write them down, and you speak them out loud to yourself. It's not voodoo. It is you exposing your mind to a truth to get out the facts that are not true. Can I use this board real quick?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to say a word, and I'm going to ask someone, as soon as I say it, just say what I said, okay? Realize. Someone spell it for me. All right, man. You're not English? Is there an English teacher around here somewhere that will say I did my job? All right. So, is that what I said? Could I have said anything else? I mean, is it a fact that I said realize? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. It's not necessarily truth. Could I have said this? Could I have said realize? Is that possible? Yeah. How about this? Could we realize? Realize, realize, realize. This is what I want to show you with this. When you realize that there's truth over facts, that you'll uncover the real lies that are within you, that are holding you down, that you're not even aware of. Because when you start speaking truth, when you start speaking who you really are, the real lies of who you're not, that someone else might have told you and you might have picked up on it. Someone could have spoke to you something 3 or 4 years ago and you bought into it, and you don't even realize in your mind it's there, that you are limited, you are restricted, you can't do something, you're not able to do something, you don't have worth in some area because someone spoke, because the words are powerful. And they're in there. But as I said, you have to, when you start speaking truth about who you are, you will uncover that there's real lies, and this will give you real eyes to see truth. And it will change your life. You could change this whole campus if 4 or 5 of you decide, I'm going to do what this guy's saying. I'm going to every day write down. That you're going to say, I am worth 5 minutes of my time taking ownership because those corporations pay millions and millions of dollars to distract, deceive, and dumb me down. That you will rationalize and justify and compromise being less than who you were created to be. You were created to be excellent. You were created to be excellent. Let me write some of these words down so you see them. Disciplined, worthy, of value. I'll tell you another thing. Some of you need to hear this. You're loved. Some of you need to hear you're unconditionally loved. Not anything you've done or didn't do because of just because you are. That you're loved. That you are gifted. Talented. got focused, confident, that you are excellent, that you are empowered. And it goes on and on. It's you deciding. You have to take ownership. There was a kid that he wanted to get better at football. He wanted to be a better athlete. He said, you know what, I'm going to start eating well. I'm going to get up early and run before school. And he set his alarm. He's getting up 5:45 a.m. He was going down the street, this park, he's going to do sprints. It's like, this, I'm going to get better. I'm going to be a starter on the team. I'm going to do everything. Here's the thing. Doing everything you can where you are with what you have, that is success. We're all different in different areas. We're different places. But doing everything you can do with what you've been given is success. And the problem is, at times we think, well, this person's here and I'm down here, so they're the winner, I'm the loser. You're not a winner, you're not a loser, you're a chooser. You're choosing you, and the world depends on you to choose excellence. How much time I got, Coach? Okay, I'm going to finish up. All right, so this kid, he decides, I'm going to do this. All right, his intention, he made a decision. I'm getting up early. I'm setting my alarm. I'm going to go run, come back, and eat healthy. I'll make it better. I'm not eating junk. That's another thing. It's a whole other story. The food in grocery stores, all the processed foods is crap. There's nothing for you. All right? It actually does worse for you. But anyway, I'm going to make eggs and bacon. I'm going to get some protein in. Sets his alarm. The alarm goes off. And when's the most comfortable you are in your bed? Right when you got to get up, right? Alarm goes off, he's comfortable. Man, the wind's blowing, looks like it's raining sideways. In that split second, that first step, he has to make a choice. Now, it's easy to justify. It's easy to compromise. Say, you know what? Tomorrow's supposed to be nicer out. The wind's blowing. I'm not going to go out. It's easier to do that, but I tell you what, it's not better. It's not more fulfilling. Yo, my man, come on, give me your attention. Don't mess around. It's easier, but it's not better. It won't be more fulfilling, and it's certainly not going to be more rewarding. So he had to make a choice. So he got out of bed, put his clothes on, and he goes out field, runs, gets it running in, gets done in time to eat breakfast. Eat a healthy breakfast. Because when you eat a healthy breakfast, whenever you eat breakfast, as long as it's healthy, you don't even have to eat breakfast first thing in the morning. That's a whole other thing. It's making sure whenever you eat, it's healthy, gives you energy. Here he did that. 3 weeks later, the alarm goes off, but he's not in his room. He's already gone. When you see what discipline will do for you, you will never run from it again. You'll run to it. Meaning, he was already on the field. He wasn't waiting for his alarm anymore. He has conditioned his mind to get up and go. It wasn't even a decision. It wasn't a feeling. It wasn't, I'm not motivated. I'm not inspired. I don't have energy. It's a discipline because he saw what it would do for him. I want to tell you, do not choose the easy. Do not justify being less than who you were created to be. Because when you see what discipline will do for you, when you take ownership and take a few minutes every day to speak a truth into you, and therefore you start speaking those same truths to other people, you start telling a teammate who screws up, keep your chin up, man, it's going to be all right, we're going to get there. We need you. We need your excellence. Not, man, that was a bonehead play. When you start throwing this in you every single day, you will speak the same to your teammates as to other people. You'll tell the kid in the class, hey, quit clowning. Coach or teacher's trying to teach us. It will have an impact. You're an impact. You are an influence. The question is, which way will you go with it? The way the world wants you to go, or the way you're created to go? As iron sharpens iron, so shall one person sharpen another. You choose. And to understand that is to understand that you have the power of ownership over yourself, no one else. But the consequences are going to come in the future. And they can be good or they can be bad. My daughter, one of my kids, when she was real young, they got this pottery plant. And they were supposed to go home, they planted seeds in at school, and they're supposed to put it by a windowsill. And water it, and how much time they had to give it sun, and all that stuff, first, second grade. And one morning, like 3 or 4 days later, I come out, she's crying. I'm like, well, Lily, what is wrong? She goes, I must have done something wrong. I said, why? She goes, my plant's not growing. I said, Lily, what you don't understand is you're doing everything right. Meaning, you're disciplined to do what you need to do. You don't see anything because what's happening is what you don't see is the roots are growing down. And as it grows down deeper, because you're doing what you need to do, even though you don't see progress, even though you don't see discipline taking its place, rewarding you, fulfilling you, it's growing deeper and it's grabbing that water and it's getting stronger. It's getting stronger. At the right time, it's going to come up. So discipline will either come at the right time where you need it, and you're like, yes, you'll see it pay off, your teammates will see it pay off, your coach, and it'll build confidence, it'll empower you, invigorate you, it'll strengthen you. Or if you choose not that discipline, that same seed you sow, like some kid who was an all-time hit leader at UNCW, when I work with coaches and athletes, their baseball team, and UNCW has a rich history of baseball players. Some even get to major leagues. So this kid's senior year came in, this is like 10, 12 years ago. He had a shot at becoming the all-time hit leader for UNCW baseball. His stock draft was going up, and he breaks the record in the spring. A week later, the UNCW baseball team plays the number one team in the nation, Carolina Tar Heels. Go up to Carolina, go to Chapel Hill, and beat them. Beat the number one team in the nation. This kid's name was Hunter. He didn't play. Not only that, he didn't even make the trip. Even that, a week later, after breaking the record, he was no longer on the team. He was no longer a student at UNCW because he was kicked out. He was kicked out for plagiarism. 2 weeks before he would graduate. And I ask you, and I ask you all the time, when do you think he had a paper to do that he took someone else's, copied it, and handed it in? It could have been when they got they got a syllabus to begin the semester. And it's like, yeah, I'll take care of that later. And then baseball season fully wrapped up, and oh my gosh, or a week before, or the night before, I didn't have the paper. I got to hand this paper. It's a big deal. I'll tell you when he chose to do it. He chose to do it when he was your age. Because just like my daughter not thinking that seed was doing anything, the same thing with taking shortcuts, cheating, doing things that affect you in a negative way. He planted that seed, chose to cheat somewhere, and got away with it. It's like someone taking a shortcut, not running to the line, teaching yourself, I'm getting away with it. Slowly, surely, you build a rhythm, you build a habit of cheating, taking a shortcut, no one's seeing, no one knows, and that root's growing down at the very wrong time. Man. Came up. Talk about his draft, stock, gone. You're choosing right now at your age. There was another guy on that team that I work with on a week-to-week basis that, man, he's putting all the work in. Just like my daughter putting the seed in, man, he wasn't seeing it. The coaches saw it. There's always someone watching you that has a power to bless you. There's always someone watching you you're not aware of that has a power to bless you. Just like there's always a younger kid or someone watching you that you have the power to bless. Meaning how you act, your attitude, your demeanor, your words that you speak because you have influence and impact. So just this kid kept doing all the right things. I mean, he was recruited, let's say, he was from somewhere out of North Carolina to come to UNCW to play baseball, working hard. He had the winning hit in that game because he was the one who was ready. He was the backup. His position was the most important position on the team. He did what he had to do, and at the right time, that seed that kept growing down because he was doing all the right things came up, and he had the winning hit against Carolina. You're choosing right now your age. Man, what an opportunity you have. You have an opportunity to take ownership of everything you do. Therefore, your perspective change, your attitude, how you see yourself change, how you see other people. It will empower you. It'll strengthen you. It'll build confidence, humble confidence in you. Here's my challenge. It's a small discipline. But small disciplines exercised on a daily basis creates excellence. It is speaking life into you. Speaking truth, that those facts that are not true, because you give yourself real eyes when you realize that there's real eyes within you. You are worth it. The question is, will you choose? Because just like that kid who set his alarm, you can decide to do something, but deciding and doing it can be miles apart. It's a choice. Guys, choose excellence because excellence is in you. This world needs it. This world needs it. Thanks for your attention. I appreciate it, guys. Hope you take that in.